My mother, who was sickly and frail most of the time, had a lot of love in her heart for me. I was so lucky to have my mom who helped me through many dark times. I love you, Mom, and I miss you. But I'm doing okay, Mom. I'm doing okay now. I was heavily picked on for most of my youth because I guess some thought I looked and sounded differently from others. I didn't get much love from my father, who pretty much raised me with a strap. I always felt like it was a huge inconvenience to him that I was born. He was a hard-hearted person who was not a good companion for my mother either. Later I found out that he was a very troubled person and grew up with many problems of his own, which is why I found it in my heart to forgive him. Eventually, through counseling, I found out that the reason I felt so miserable for much of my life was due to very low self-esteem. Over time, though, I realized that I'm a lovable person with a wife that is inherently valuable and doesn't need validation from anything or anybody. I know inside I have a good heart and a lot to give. I think my mother gave me that. One of the things that fills my heart with warmth is helping out my longtime friend Alan, who was horribly injured in a disastrous accident. About 15 years ago, a chemical plant 2 towns over exploded. Many were maimed and killed. Alan was working nearby and very nearly died from it. The doctors say it's pretty crazy that Alan is still among the living. Recently, I found him a place to live down the block. His brain function is diminished, and I'm not sure how much he remembers the things we did growing up. I still feel the goodness that was always in him. He likes soup and cheese and chocolate milk. So for my good friend Alan, soup and cheese and chocolate milk it is. I tell him every time now I see him, you are my good friend and you always will be. I am so very glad that you are still among the living. At night, when I drift off to sleep, I have reoccurring dreams. I sneak into the hazardous grounds of the destroyed chemical plant. I see these machines that are there to clean up the poisons that remain. Beings constructed to rebuild and absorb contamination. There's one giant one that I name Alwyn. This one started out small like an elf in a machine. Then it outgrows the machine to become giant. I suppose it's my brain trying to fix my friend Alan by making him larger than life so he can protect everyone from bad people and environmental catastrophes. Occasionally, one of these machines wanders off while I find it lost in my garage. An alleyway pops up where I help some of the machines chase Munson back inside. Before I see this person who wasn't ready to die, I suppose, walking up and down the same road in the Oak Hill Cemetery. I worry that he can't find his way out. I hope he's all right. I also rescue a crying friend, always in the same place where it springs up like a mushroom. Its name is Toenail. I bring it home to my mother to replace my dad because it treats her way more kindly. I want to feed it bread and pieces of hot dog, but my mother has more elaborate plans for nourishing it. Things like pepper stick fish salad pudding made from 2 eggs mixed with mace and dill, along with pickles, tuna, mustard seed, and a touch of mayonnaise on pumpernickel. When I was 29, my wonderful mother passed away. It was then that I decided to get the hell out of the house for good. Away from my dad, whose crazy, ugly ranting was harder than ever to be around. I worked many jobs and scraped my way by pretty much any way I could. I'm proud to say I never missed 1 month's rent. I carved out my niche, befriending a few good people along the way, and with some counseling and regular group meetings with others who grew up with dysfunction in their families, my happiness and self-esteem has been increasing. More than ever, I see the many joys of living. My sadness has lessened, and I find myself grateful for the many things life has to offer. One day in my 50s, I received a letter in the mail from my aunt's estate, my mother's sister, who I remember was always good to me and who I'd kept in touch with over the years. The letter stated that I had inherited an entire house along with a decent monetary sum. There was one small condition. That was that I take care of her little dog, Albert. I just couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe it. I never in my wildest dreams expected something like this. I'm still so astounded. So here I am, in a nice place, in a nice neighborhood, with a very nice little dog that I love to death. He's a real good little friend. Alan really likes him too. My name is Buddy, and I consider myself a very lucky individual. Bye-bye now.